Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 557 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Mike is having a little bit of technical difficulty to start out the hour, so I'm just gonna continue on. I'm just gonna
Just
carry
continue
on.
on. I'm having major issues right now.
I'll just carry on. I gotta be honest. I think the camera that you're using is probably ran its course. That seems something with the problem that you're having, something similar that I had with my last camera. Welcome
Yeah, it's,
back.
it's frustrating.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Two Dumb Yinzers. Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm trying to get, I don't know what I'm doing. It was working. Now it's not working.
Hmm.
Just keep talking. I'll fiddle
Yeah,
around.
I'm going
I'll get
to.
me up
You
on
just
here in
you
one
just
second.
you just pipe down over there.
Ah, rah, 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 rah.
I got my, I have this song that's driving me crazy, and I can't for the life of me figure out who made it, where I could find it. Do you remember back? I don't know, in the '90s, because the '90s is when I remember it. But going to the malls and walking past the piano store, because when we were
Yeah.
all when we were younger, all the malls had the piano store, and nobody ever went in and bought anything. But anytime that you would walk past the store, there was always the same music playing. And I have it in my head, and I don't know where it came from, why I got it in my head, but there's a problem. Me not being able to identify the song, there you go.
That's somewhat work. I'll change the background here in a second.
But the song popped into my head about a week and a half, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. And it's just been continuously going ever since.
Hmm.
But and the reason is this because I can't identify the song, so I can't look it up, I can't pull it up, and I can't listen to it for closure.
Yeah.
So my brain, by default, makes my brain thinks that if I stop playing it over and over in my head, it'll be gone and I'll never remember the song for the rest of my life. But
Hmm.
but I have it in my head and I want to listen to it. Like I said, I want closure on this
Yeah.
because I don't want this song to be going through my head for the rest of my life. But if anybody could help me identify this song, and it's no lyrics. As I said, it's when you walk past the organ store, the piano store at any mall, USA, 1990s, probably 1980s, you would just hear this song. And it had like this run to it. It was like no 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 no. And then while that's going on, you hear like the hi-hat. And then on top of that, then you hear the deeper part of the piano.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. And it does all these at the same time. And like I said, it's just constantly running through my head. It's driving me insane. But like I said, I can't stop thinking about it until I can identify the song. So anybody, please, if you could put me at ease here.
Well, I know it's not "Come On, Eileen," but other than
It's
that,
it's
I
not
don't
a
know
real
how.
no, it's not like a song like
I know.
it's just a musical.
Yeah, it's that the music that was played.
The music. Are you free? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. Because we talked about this off air the other day, and then I was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
And
haven't
then I
slept
stopped.
since.
Then I actually thought about it after. Then it was stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and also I'm pissed at Derpy.
Where
well,
yeah, where is the derp?
I don't know.
Like
I
I
don't
didn't
know.
even realize he wasn't here until you said something.
Well, I've been working hard on something here, and I've been trying to get something fixed, and
Derpy.
I fixed it. And
You
now he's not.
fixed the derp
I
signal.
fixed the Derpy signal,
Derpy.
but now he's not here, so I
You
can't
know what?
enjoy it.
He has not come back since the Pride episode. Derpy.
Yeah, he was
Correct?
here on Wednesday.
Oh, he was here Wednesday?
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't like being called Twink.
No, he likes to be twink.
Yeah, and then there's nothing wrong with that. He actually responded better and more quickly when we called him Twink.
You see?
Yeah,
That's how's that sound?
it sounds great. It sounds amazing.
See, I'm gonna kill him.
So we got that working. My camera dying and no derpy.
Yeah.
We are like the Pittsburgh
I got this
Pirates.
song going through
One
my
thing
head,
works, two other things fall apart.
and then I got this song going through my head. It's a fucking
Yeah,
disaster around here.
yeah. Oh,
Oh, hey, and I got a new shirt. Check it out. Number 30 with the
oh my God, with the
mustache.
mustache.
And then
No
it's
shit.
a t-shirt that has the PGH. It's pretty sick, man.
Oh shit.
I like the mustache though.
Are you giving or taking mustache
Yeah, you
rights?
know. But so there you are. A lot of things to talk about today going into the weekend. It is Friday, everybody. Hold on.
Yes.
Derpy. See, where is he? Could somebody go hunt him his ass down and bring him to work? Uh all right. Bucco's got a new series starting tonight. They lose yesterday, but they win the series against the Dodgers. The
Yeah.
game that they lost was 11-7, a final score. I guess that's not too bad if you look at it from the outside. Okay, a lot of runs scored. He just managed to lose to probably the best team in the National League.
Yeah.
So Pirates are 29-33 at the moment. The Dodgers, they do improve to 39-25. Both teams managed 14 hits. I'm going to talk about the Pirates hits here shortly, Mike. But first, let me give you the rundown in the division.
Yeah.
So we won 2-3 against the
Yeah.
Dodgers. Okay, you think okay, you'd see some maybe the slightest bit of improvement. So we went 2-3, and now we dropped clear down to last
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Right now it's Milwaukee in first, Chicago Cubs in second with 5.5 games out. Tied in third is the Reds, who was below everybody, and the Cardinals, who was below everybody. They're both 6.5 games out of first place. And your Pittsburgh Pirates, yes, you guessed it, they are in the basement with a 7-game deficit in the division. However, only still one game out of the wild card spot. So
Yeah.
I think that's what we set our sights on.
Yeah.
Do everything
That's
we
just
can to get
wild.
that wild card spot.
Yeah. Yeah. And eh, this division, man, Brew Crew, they're on a 3-game losing streak. Reds are on a 5-game win streak. Everyone else is on, just lost last night. But yet somehow we keep dropping. But we're still only a game out of the wild card. That
Yeah.
it's just
Why don't we ever drop out of the wild card race? Why does that always seem to be one game?
yeah. How the hell are we still a game back out of the wild card?
We were free falling out of the division, but
Yeah, but
the wild
hey,
card we've been steady there no matter if we win or lose.
yeah. You know what? I'll take it. Let this.
Like none of
But
these other teams that are
yeah,
passing us in the division are. It's Mike. What's going on?
I have no idea, but I will take it. But I'll also take it too that we just took 2 out of 3 from one of the better teams in baseball. We took 2 out of 3 against Atlanta, one of the better teams in baseball. Like we said yesterday, good signs that are there. So I'm trying to find the positives when it comes to the Buccos because there's a lot of negatives that we could talk about. So I'm just going to be positive about the Buccos for today.
I'm going to be positive about our board for a moment. Brian said that Mike's never looked so good, and I assume that happened whenever you had the
Oh,
camera
yeah, my
wasn't
camera's
working.
off. Yeah. Uh-huh. Took me a second. I was
See,
like,
that was
that. Yeah, I was like looking at myself, like, was my camera picking up something better? I was like, oh no, there's no camera on.
is it picking up something better? Like there's going to be another man standing in front of your camera. Uh,
I thought maybe I turned into like, like The Rock or something, just sitting here looking all perfect.
all right, maybe you did.
Hey, maybe. They don't
Uh,
call me
so
big sexy for no reason.
so here's what really pissed me off yesterday about this Pirate game. The first thing I want to say is we don't have a reliever on our staff that can't get through an inning without giving up a walk, a hit, a run, a something. You just we don't have a guy in our bullpen, Mike, that could go through 3 guys and get them
No.
all out and not and be unscathed. We don't have him. He doesn't exist. I've been saying this, and they just keep proving me right. They signed a guy yesterday, this relief pitcher from he played for the Dodgers and the Rockies organization. He ended up getting in last night. He pitched all right, I guess. Brill, Bruihl. He ends up throwing 2/3 of an inning, giving up no hits, no earned runs, no walks, no Ks. But let me tell you. All right, so let's start with the top and we'll work our way down. Bailey Falter, who I didn't think had a terrible game. The fact of the matter was he's playing the Dodgers
Yeah.
lineup, and unfortunately, he's not Paul Skeens or Jared Jones. He
Yeah.
got hit like everybody
Yeah.
else basically gets hit when they play the Dodgers. His line looked like this: 4 innings pitched. He gave up 8 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, had 6 strikeouts, which I think was his pro. I mean, this obviously was his least effective
Yeah.
start in a long time. But I'm willing to give him the pass because again, the
Yeah.
Dodgers do this to pretty much everybody who's not Paul Skeens and Jared
Yeah.
Jones and maybe a few other guys around the league. So he starts to get a little weary in the fourth. Hey, we'll bring in the bullpen. Let's help him out a little bit. Giving up quite a few runs here.
Yeah.
And they go to Heller. And Heller in 2/3 of an inning, in 2/3 of an inning, gives up 4 hits, 5 earned runs, and he managed 1 strikeout. At any point during that 2/3 of an inning, when you're giving up 5 runs, now mind you, Bailey Falter again gave up 5 runs in 4 innings, gave up 8 hits, but
Yeah.
again, it was a work in progress.
Yeah.
And again, Heller did face the same Dodger team that Falter faced in his
Yeah.
defense. But as he pitches 2/3 of an inning and lets up 4 hits, 5 earned runs, you might want to yank him. And I understand you don't want to get a guy out there, let him face the bat. But you know what? If it was a different circumstance and you're in the playoffs and your guy, it was a matchup thing, you throw
Mm-hmm.
one pitcher, you would yank him, go to the next guy because it's a good strategy when you're trying to win baseball games. But Derek Shelton thought it was a great idea to keep Heller in there. He ended up pitching a whole inning entirely when it was all said and done. But when it was 2/3 of an inning, Mike, he gave up 4 hits and 5 earned runs.
It was a 45 ERA in that inning.
And that's one of my 45.
45.
So that's a problem. That's problem two. Problem one being we don't have a guy that could get through an inning unscathed. That would not one.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember the last time that somebody came and got 3 outs in an inning out of the bullpen and didn't give up a walk, a hit, a run, or something. So then they go to Nicholas. Nicholas in 2 1/3 of an inning gives up 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and a couple strikeouts.
Yeah.
And then this Brill comes in, the guy that we just brought in yesterday. Yep. He, as I said, at 2/3 of an inning, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, no Ks. Majinski comes in later in the game to wrap it up. Majinski, what did he do? He had 1 inning. Okay, well, he gave up no hits, no runs, but I'm pretty sure he gave up 2 walks.
2 walks.
So that's what I'm saying. Falls in that category. Nobody can get through 3 outs, one whole inning, without giving up something, and that's a big problem to have, especially when your rotation is as strong as it is, especially when your offense is putting up runs. Say what you will, they put up 7 runs last night in this game. I'll take 7 runs every night.
Yeah.
If the other team has to put up 11 to win, I'll take 7 runs every game. So the offense, and we're going to get into that. This team is hitting the ball. Like I said, they got 14 hits. They gave up 14 hits. I'll get more into this offense in a second. But this bullpen, and they try to so they tried to improve ESA by bringing this Brew, and I guess it remains to be seen what we're going to get with him. Yeah. We don't know yet. But this is where we're at, and this is why we are where we are, and it really is because, as we were saying the other day, you changed the results of 4 games.
Yeah,
4 games. It's a totally different situation we're in because we would be 33-29 instead of 29-33, and that would have us in a whole different position. I think ahead of everybody else or damn near close in the division. So it's that bullpen. The starting pitching is carrying the load, no two ways about it. Luckily, we got Mitch Keller back on the hill today to start the Twin Series. I don't know what's going to go on tomorrow. They put Quinn Priester on IL.
Oh,
yeah, and the other guys, they're still hurt. Martin Perez and them guys. So I don't know who they're going to throw tomorrow. And then on Sunday, Jared Jones is penciled in to start. So it's going to be interesting. But nonetheless, they do face Mitch Keller and Jared Jones, which is a good thing. I'll take that. But this bullpen, it's got it. Because as we were saying, Mike, once you get into the summer, the bats heat up. And they're heating up. And they're scoring 10 runs 2 nights ago, 7 runs last night. And they and the offense is coming around. Again, I'll take 7 runs any night of the week.
Yeah, yeah.
In the pitching, with the exception of Bailey Falter's last appearance yesterday against the
Mhm.
Dodgers, the main four have been lights out.
Oh yeah, he was pitching well up until last night. Even I would even take a rough 4 innings where he gave up the 5 runs or whatever he did. The bullpen needs to step up at that point and shut him down because the offense gave you enough runs. 7 runs should be enough to win an MLB game. But if your starting pitcher's having a tough time, you hope your bullpen can come in and shut them down, but then they weren't able to.
Mike, somebody said this on social media. I picked this up and I thought it was interesting. And I think it's true. And especially,
Yeah.
especially,
Mhm.
especially if they do a little work on this team. But somebody said this. I believe the Pirates can steal a playoff series. And I do
Yeah,
too,
I do
because
too.
you have the guns, you have the arms.
Yes.
And when Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling won the World Series in Arizona, Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling were the ones that won the World Series.
Hmm.
It was a bunch of low scoring games. The offense did just enough to be able to win. And they went Johnson to Schilling to Johnson to Schilling to John. Like it was just so crazy. But you know what? You could do that in the playoffs and you strategically pitch and you put your guys where you need them to be. And we have that with this offense, and especially as these guys, continue to hone their skills and get better. You think after a whole season of playing, they'd be fine at the end of the year too. And I mean, obviously they're going to be a little tired, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we got the guns, we got the arms on the mound.
Yeah.
And if
And
the offense could do like the Arizona Diamondbacks did and do
mhm.
just well enough, so it ultimately comes down to that bullpen, which has been devastating. Like devastating. If the bullpen played halfway as good as it did last year, we would be sitting pretty right now.
Oh yeah, my God, they'd have at least another 3 to 4 wins, maybe even 5 wins if that bullpen, would pitch the way they did last year, like you're saying. And if they do have it in, make it into the playoffs, your top three. My God, my God, yeah, that's your chances of winning that series are damn fucking good because I'd pick Skeens the first game, Keller game two, and Jones game three.
I want to address something on the board, Brian. I think you have a good question. We do have three. We have three starters in the IL right now. Why not bring Bauer? The thing about Bauer, I'm all aboard. I don't care what the hell he did. He's a baseball player. Whatever he did in his off time, as long as he's not beating anybody in the locker room, I have no problem. But the problem to me seems to be the fact that nobody wants to touch him is the
Yeah,
problem. I,
yeah.
I think that it's for whatever reason he's blackballed. I mean, if anybody touches him, it's going to be weird. It's going to be, and I don't agree with it. I want to win baseball games. I'd sign this guy in a minute to round out my my rotation. But
It's,
as I said, he's almost like the plague. This guy,
yeah, it's weird. Like if because you think someone would have picked him up
right?
by now, and not because you see how many people get second, third, fourth chances, and he's not getting a second chance.
That
That's
speaks
when you get
volumes.
leery
Yeah,
of what's going on there. Why aren't they doing it? So oh man, the Steelers just brought back Cam Sutton.
right.
And,
And I'm fine with it.
he was like
On Sundays, he's here to play football for 3 hours. That's why I want him. Other than that, what he does with his life is
you get a
beyond.
second chance, blah blah blah. But like this guy not getting a second chance, so what else is going on? Do people in the league know more what's going on than's been reported in the media, or what? So
I'd
that's
throw him
just
in the
weird.
I'd throw him in the rotation in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
I would have Mitch Keller, Paul Skeens, Jared Jones, Bailey Falter, and Trevor Bauer. I mean, that would be as good as five as you could get in the National League for sure. But again, it's just something about him. He's blackballed. He's tagged, and for whatever reason, nobody's touching him. And I think that's the concern.
yeah,
If you want to be that club that takes your chance on him, whatever. But I just it seems to me that there's kind of almost an unwritten agreement around the league that nobody's going to take this guy.
yeah. It's just weird because my God, like you see it all throughout every sports league where guys get second chances, third chances, fourth chances. Look at Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he got 250 million guaranteed, and Bauer, is not even getting a 30 teams in MLB aren't going to give him a chance. what more is going on out there that maybe we don't know.
And we're not the only fans that wonder this because
Yeah, a lot of fan bases are saying, why
Brian
why
asked me,
weren't we going after him?
Brian asked this the other day, and I went and I looked some stuff up, and I thought, you know what, that's not a bad question. But what I'm finding out is there's about 26 other teams that they were hopeful in April. Tampa Bay says something along the lines of the fans, why can't we bring Bauer in? A couple other teams I've seen, let's bring Bauer in and shore up our rotation. So for whatever reason, that's why
Yeah,
I don't I would take him, but I don't know.
it's just yeah, because I don't know, it's just weird. It's just weird. Like 30 teams aren't touching them, whereas you look at there's other guys like G1 Bay. He had his when he was in South Korea, when he was arrested for domestic abuse, we brought him in and he's just out there playing. And then, this guy has legal issues as well, but no one will touch him. It's just weird. Weird.
Mike, the offense, like I said, that you can't really complain about what they're doing. Again, 7 runs last night in a loss,
Yeah.
10 runs the night before. It starts with I think the leadership and the hitting of Nick Gonzalez. Nick Gonzalez right now is
Oh my God.
playing top notch. 24 games since he's been up since May 10th. He has 22 RBIs. 22 RBIs since May 10th. You
It's not
figure
bad.
the other guys on our team have like 24 RBIs and they've been playing since the end of March.
Yeah.
Um,
It's why wasn't this guy up earlier? I don't
he
know what he was doing down in the minors at that point, but my God.
because
He's,
that's what the Pirates do.
yeah.
The people that should be up or down, and the people that are down should be up, and
Hmm.
it's a Pirate thing. Mike,
Yeah.
he not only is doing really well, he is the first in the National League. Mike, nobody has hit more RBIs in that period of time since May 10th than Nick Gonzalez.
Hey, to take that a step even further, I'm looking at his stats now. He already has more hits this year than he did last year, more ribbies.
Yeah.
He's already doubled his home runs. He had two last year, four this year. Batting average from 209 all the way up to 315.
And we're
This is awesome.
as of yesterday, we're 62 games in. 62 games into the season, which tells me we're roughly, once you get to the end of May, you call it a third. I mean, yeah, the end of May, it's a third of the season's knocked out. So with him getting that amount of numbers just since May 10,
Yeah.
multiply it by three, he's gonna, he's looking at 66 to 70 RBIs if he can stay healthy.
Hmm.
And that's not bad for a guy that got a late start. Keep Nick Gonzalez around. There's no reason ever to send him down this street. I tell
No.
you what, even if he gets cold, you can keep him up.
Yeah. He's proven to be, my God, one of your better players already.
He goes 2 for 5 yesterday with a run, two more RBIs, the home run to tie it. Dodgers started off pretty early with a 4-0 lead in the first inning. Pirates managed to score a couple more runs, and then Nick Gonzalez gets in at bat. He hits a 2-run jack to tie the game at 4. Beyond that, it was pretty disastrous through the bullpen situation because then the Dodgers were able to score 5,
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on and so forth. And as I said, throughout the game, we managed to do some things offensively, just not enough. But let me give you an idea of what we did. O'Neill Cruz also goes 2 for 5, scores 2 runs, has 3 RBIs, and his home run was the furthest of his career. The Cruz missile has never been hit further than it was last night in his home run. So O'Neill Cruz has a home run last night. Nick Gonzalez hits a home run last night. Key Brian Hayes has 3 hits.
Yeah.
Sawinski and even Rowdy Telez both have
I
2 hits.
saw that. I thought I was having a stroke when I was going through the box score.
And it was a double and a single.
Yeah.
McCutcheon, Reynolds, Oliveras, they all have 1 hit. So, with that being said, the offense is working. Again, 7 runs. I'll
Yeah.
take that every day if that's
Yeah.
what you're going to give me.
Yeah.
And you put it up against our better pitchers, we're going to be in every game.
Yeah.
But Gonzalez and Cruz, as I said, that they took over the show on offense. I mean, the home runs and Hayes with 3 hits, and everybody else that came down that had one. Matter of fact, there's only like 2 guys in the lineup. I think 2 or 3 guys that didn't have any hits. One being Connor Joe. He came in. Yeah, he came in a pitch hit situation. But as I was saying, this offense, where they are right now, who they are, what we're doing, what's going on. 7 games out in the division, 1 game out in the wild card. Continue to put up 5 to 7 runs a
Yep.
game, we'll be fine. You just got to fix this bull. They just got to fix this
It's a
bullpen.
bullpen. Yeah, and I've been saying for the past week, and that's what scares me about this team is the front office is what scares me the
Their
most.
inability to recognize
Yeah,
what the problems are.
a real organization would see, hey, we need bullpen help. Let's go make a move. Let's, hey, yeah, we like to keep our prospects, but sometimes you gotta move on from them to acquire major league talent, and take one of your better prospects and flip them for a relief pitcher or two.
Yeah,
That's what you're gonna have to do if you're serious about winning. Flip one of those young guys for an established veteran who not just on a 1 year deal that's signed for a couple years. So you have them here. So you're not scrambling to try and hopefully convince them to stay. Trade a young prospect, get an established bullpen arm, try and get two. That's what you're going to have to do. Be a real organization for a change. Because, like you said, the offense is there, the starting pitching's there. Fix the
it's
bullpen.
just crazy how
Fix the
devastating a
bullpen.
bad bullpen could be.
Yeah, yeah. Because
I mean,
it's
every
kind of
Mike, how many
unrealistic to
games last week
expect
did this team start the
starters.
game 5 to
Yeah,
nothing and they
yeah,
lost after
yeah,
the starter got
yeah.
pulled? How
Well,
many
like
times? I can think of three.
Ski happened to Skeens at least twice. Jones at least twice. It's happened to Keller. It's yeah.
And for these
You
poor pitchers, they're just
yeah,
unfortunate because after you leave the game, you have no control. So the
yeah.
bullpen comes in and f's things up,
Mm-hmm.
and you're the one that gets you take the L. Or it's crazy.
Yeah.
Today they're back at it at 6:40. They play game 1 of 3 against the Minnesota Twins. The Twinnies are in town. Probables are for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mitch Keller coming in with a 7-3 record. Mike, he might be your all-star. Let's see how these next few weeks goes. Keller is sitting there with a 7-3. If he could get that around 9-3, keep that move that ERA down a little bit and add on to these strikeouts because he's coming in with a 7-3 record, 3.42 ERA and 66 Ks on the season. He got a month. He has a month. If he can get 2 to 3 wins, be it 10 wins at the break, I think he's your all-star by default.
I
But
think so too.
he goes up against Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan is 4-4 for Minnesota. He has a 3.38, 77 strikeouts on the season. The games tomorrow has to be determined. They did not announce who the starter will be tomorrow. Of course, as I said earlier, Quinn Priester did get on the IL. He's on the 15-day IL. The two previous starters, Perez and Gonzalez, they're both hurt still. So nobody's been penciled in yet. I'm going to be interested to see who starts tomorrow. And then also on Sunday, the earliest game is Jared Jones on the hill. Minnesota, I mean, Minnesota's middle of the pack. They're
Yeah.
like we are in a sense, So
Yeah.
I think if you could get 2 out of 3 from Minnesota, or I mean out at Los Angeles, there should be no way in the world you can't win 2 out of 3 against Minnesota.
No, and I will be happy with that with 2 out of 3.
You're right.
You
Win
winning
series. That's
series,
all that
win
comes.
series,
Yeah,
stack up. You win back-to-back series. That's huge.
that's the best
Because
philosophy. That's the
yeah,
best way to go. You
yeah,
focus on winning series.
yeah, and don't worry about the rest of the standings around you. What the Cubbies are doing, or what Milwaukee's doing. Just focus on yourself and the team in front of you. And eventually you're going to stack those series wins. And real quick, speaking about how I was saying about prospects to trade, we have 4 in the top 100.
Yeah.
They still have Paul Skeens as a prospect, but whatever. You got Tamar Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
He's in what A ball. Bubba Chandler and Anthony Solometo. Use one or two of those guys or those three to go get yourself some more pitching to win now. To win now.
Yeah, they're just down the road. Shit isn't working anymore for the
Yeah,
Pirates.
down the road has arrived
Yeah,
with the way Keller's
down
pitching,
the
the way
road has
Skeens and
arrived
Jones.
20 years ago, Mike.
Yeah, yeah, but now it's finally here when you're looking at the lineup with Gonzalez and Connor Joe, Skeens, Jones, Keller,
Brian, hey, I mean,
Brian Hayes,
you
Brian
have
Reynolds.
you have a
The
good
down the
team.
road is here now, guys.
You have it isn't like if you look at this team and you match it around the league where everybody would be better. I don't think we have a lot of good players. They just got to.
Yeah.
What is that? Does it come down to coaching? Is it
And a
fully
lot of
the?
it's coaching, organizational philosophy on hitting and pitching, and
How
just
can our organizational
willing
philosophy
to
be
spend
so
money.
bad? How can it be so far off?
I don't know.
They just
It's
take
just
anybody on the street and hire them and say, "Hey, you
that's what it feels like.
want to be
Anyone
the
who might
hitting
have
coach
a
over here?"
anyone who has like a slightly outside the box philosophy because they're not going to spend money. Anything they can do to, you know, bridge
I'm
that
like getting a
gap of
guy that just teaches you how to put the stick on the ball.
right.
I
Like
don't.
the minor league hitting coach,
Yeah, I don't.
elevate
I don't even
him.
want a philosophy. I just want a guy that can teach you how to hit.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Dodgers. They were saying like once they got through the round of Skeens' first time through the lineup, they're like, you know what, we're going to change our philosophy. Forget what we came in. Our game plan is we're just going to attack the zone, just become more aggressive and see what happens. And
I got
that's
to
what a
tell you,
real the Buccos will be like. Just keep doing what we're doing. Just keep doing what we're doing here.
another thing I do like to see is all these Pirates striking out Otani. He got struck out again
Yeah,
yesterday. I was in the other room. I didn't see who it was, or I was doing something else.
yeah,
But seeing him keep getting struck out in Pittsburgh is a nice thing because this is his first trip here. Maybe in
yeah,
his mind, he'll
yeah,
think, "Shit, I don't want to go back to Pittsburgh."
yeah. He struck out
No.
3 times last night. He was
Yeah.
1 for 6 last night.
So
Against that pitching staff, but yet he can take Paul Skeens deep.
again,
Make it make sense.
when you the thing is when you could time out the heater, you could hit it a long way,
Oh
and that's
yeah,
that's what he
yep.
did. Also, Mike, what else? So, yeah, so this Justin Brill, we brought him over yesterday. They threw him in the game same day. As again, he didn't give up any hits, but again, his total of innings was 2/3 of an inning. He didn't throw a
Yeah.
whole inning. So,
His total innings pitched in his career
oh,
71.
oh, see, that's what I'm saying. You bring this is the help. This is the help that you get.
Yeah, yeah. He's been in the league since 2021. He's 73 games for 71 innings. Yeah. 1.9 strikeout to walk ratio. So I suppose 2-to-1 strike out to walk. It's better than what we got.
Major League Pitching power rankings. I don't have all the teams. I just have the one that's important. As you look at the list, which I had in front of me, which I don't now, just kind of giving you an idea, is on this list, Mike, number 8, Paul Skeens. He, at this moment, is the 8th best pitcher on the
Wow.
Major League Baseball power rankings. Paul Skeens falls at number 8 spot. So that's a pretty awesome thing.
That's and he's only been up for like what, a month or two?
He's had 5
It feels
starts.
5 starts, yeah. Whew.
Also, get this talking about 500 teams that are playing 500. The whole entire see now there's another area where this is where I need a Derpy. Derpy's division because he likes the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
Now that division, they have 4 teams that are above 500: Cleveland, Kansas City, Detroit, and Minnesota. Do you know the National League only has 4 teams over 500 altogether? Atlanta, LA, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yeah. So, with that being
Whew.
said, if the Pirates have just as good a chance as anybody right now,
Mm-hmm.
because if everybody else is playing as bad or worse than we are, uh, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
nobody is
Like
better than
like
us.
yeah, we're like there's you got like the Phillies, you got the Rockies, and then everyone else is clumped right in the middle in the NL.
Yeah.
And right now, hey, we're one of the better teams of that middle bunch because we're only a game out for
Look
the
at the
wild
four
card.
teams. The 4 teams that are above 500, they would be in the playoffs
Yeah.
today. It would be the division-winning Phillies,
Yep.
Dodgers, Brewers. Atlanta would get in on a wild card.
Yeah.
Every team that's over 500 gets into
Yeah.
the playoffs as they start today. What does that tell you? Just play a little better. Don't drop
Mm-hmm.
all these games with the bullpen.
Yeah.
Hang in there and just keep your head above water because
Yeah.
right now every team that's above 500 would be the only teams to go to the playoffs in the National League.
Yeah.
And again, you can't lay it out any better for some of these teams that
No.
are average.
No, and Ben Sherrington should be working the phones to find relief pitching and maybe someone who can be a starter slash long reliever too. With all the injuries we have to the starting staff, he needs to be working the phones too.
You have you got a bunch of guys in Indianapolis that are constantly the guys that we call up. I mean, there's people that we can move.
Yeah, and
I mean,
like I was saying, don't
they
be
has
afraid to move your
game that
prospects.
has it also, yeah, guys that have game experience, guys that came up in Peguero and delay behind the plate, and
Hmm.
I mean, there's a gang of them that's starting down
Yeah,
in Indianapolis every single night that could
easy for you to
certainly
say.
be thrown into a package with one of these big name prospects like a Tamar out of a
Yeah,
single A team, Jack
I'd hate to see
Johnson.
him
I
leave the
would too,
organization,
but if
but
you're trying to
that's
win
what you
right
have to do to
now,
win.
if you're trying to win right now and you're trying to put pieces in
Yeah,
place, by all means, take it.
yeah.
Because here's the thing: you either make the move, or you don't make the move. If you make it, maybe you have a chance to win baseball games. If you don't, you're going to sit on your hands with this guy for 4 years and now getting
And
rid of him anyway.
and then you have to hope he pans
And
out
we might have
too.
12 wins that season and have no chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah,
It's just very
yeah,
unsensible the way this team is ran, Mike. It drives me
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, because they kicked the can down the road for a long ass time, and now it's finally arrived, and they don't know what to do.
Right. They would kick this can down the road for the rest of eternity if they could.
Yeah, and they finally get their generational pitcher. Then they turns out that they might have a second one in Jared Jones, and then well, holy shit, man, we got a really good pitcher in Mitch Keller. Holy shit, we lucked out into Bailey Falter figuring it out. Holy shit, we lucked into Nick Gonzalez playing well. Connor Joe being who should be a utility guy, actually filling in pretty well as a starter. Oh my God, we got Brian Hayes, a Gold Glover. The pieces are there. Get the rest of the pieces to complete the set.
And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If Rowdy Telez would come along and up his offense,
Yes,
I'd be all aboard keeping
me
him.
too.
I'm not
Me
a guy
too.
that wants to get rid of Rowdy just to get rid of Rowdy. If Rowdy
If
becomes
he plays well,
productive,
keep him.
I'll keep him around. If the guy,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah. Like I don't. I only care about the Pirates. I don't care about the last name on that jersey. Very few players that you care about who they are. As long as you're producing, produce. He might an idiot. I might clown him for what he said, but if he produces at first base, like gets that batting average up, gets his numbers back up. Hell yeah, keep him around because that's a key piece of the puzzle right there. You can actually have a true platoon going at first base.
Mike, I seen on internet yesterday,
Excuse me.
One Berg, they do stuff on social media, Facebook,
Uh-huh.
Twitter. You can find One Berg. They have a lot of cool Pittsburgh stuff. Sports. Yesterday they come out with a post that says 1 out of every 3 Pittsburgh males look like Rowdy Telez. Mike, you would fall into that category because listen, me, you, and Derpy.
I'm fat, I'm bald, and I got a beard.
Yeah,
Hold
because
on.
we're all Pittsburgh. Me, you, and Derpy. Let's just break it down like this because it's the 3 guys that people would know from the show. 1 out of every 3, One Berg claims that 1 out of every 3 males from Pittsburgh look like Rowdy Telez.
Hold
And if
on.
we take me, you, and Derpy, you would be him. Like you would be the Rowdy Telez lookalike.
Hold on.
Are you pulling it up?
Hold on.
Yeah.
I
Well,
hate you.
you got to put a hat on too because your head kind of throws it off. But you know what? I guess he's bald. So are
I
you
hate
putting
you.
it up?
I'm looking for it.
What are you doing? Yeah, there it is. Oh Mike. Oh my God.
I know.
If you put a pirate hat on, there it is, guys. Look, if you're watching the show, Mike literally does look like Rowdy Telez. If he had a pirate hat on, I wouldn't know the difference. So there you have it. One Berg is onto something.
As soon as you said that, I'm like, ugh.
And you also look like Andy Reid, too. I think you look more like Andy Reid.
Here's the thing. Fat guys who are bald, if we wear a hat and then the wraparound sunglasses, we all look the same.
I'm gonna be
We
honest.
do.
Every time I go to a store, I always look to see if I can find a cheap red hat so we could do a Andy Reid bit for the show. I cannot find a cheap red hat for nothing. Like when you run into a
Yeah.
dollar store,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
never ever. I want to find one
Uh-huh.
for a few
Yeah.
bucks.
We all look the same. Like I could show up at PNC Park, just walk in, hey guys, and I'm like, hey, Rowdy,
Yeah. Then we'll all boo you, and it'll be
Yeah.
just like it is here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Let's move on, Mike.
Maybe better catering there.
It's time to move along. I want to talk about some Steelers stuff going on here. Then we're going to talk a little NBA, a little NHL because we've got 2 finals going on, some local Pittsburgh sports things going on throughout the weekend. So let's jump into the Steelers. Mike, the Derpy, there's another thing. Derpy sent me the camp schedule this morning, and where's he at to talk about it?
Derpy's the fucking correspondent now. You're just out there in the field to send him this shit.
But the camp schedule did get released. I'm sure you'll see it a million times on social media. I'll come back to that in a minute. I want to talk about the new look secondary of the
Yes.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike, how confident are you that now that your secondary looks like this come August, September? Joey Porter, cornerback. Dante
Hmm.
Jackson at cornerback. Sutton at your slot corner. Minka Fitzpatrick, Deshaun Elliott. This is your secondary Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike, how much do you feel more confident, less confident, or same as you did last year with this group of guys back in the secondary?
More confident, especially if Cam Sutton can play the way he did his last couple years in Pittsburgh. You
Yeah.
know, where he was that more or less the slot corner.
I think he's going to
I
want to prove himself too, Mike,
yeah,
after all this shit that goes on,
yeah,
because he's going to still want to play football. He's still
yeah,
going to want people to pay him. And at the end of the
hmm,
day, other teams are going to be looking in to see, what
yeah,
goes on. I think Cam Sutton he's going to have to play a prove himself season. And
hmm,
I think he's going to do good because I thought he was playing just fine when he was here. I
yeah.
thought
Oh,
Detroit
he
was
was.
super smart by taking him. What
Hmm.
happened between then and now? I mean, that's a whole different story. But as I
Yeah,
said, I think he will be playing a prove yourself season, Mike.
I
I
think
really
so
do.
too, and I think he can still play at a high level.
I did too.
And this is just that was a huge hole missing of who was going to be the slot corner, and now you have it. And then too, Trenton Thompson back at safety, DeMonte Kazee, you know, Trenton Thompson, he came along nice, came out more or less came out of nowhere, it felt like. So that was a good pickup. You got Kazee as well, too. Nice depth there at safety. You know, cornerback, the depth outside the starter, out of your top three corner, you like a little bit better, but with the salary cap, you're gonna have a little weaknesses there. But we'll see what you can get out of someone like Anthony Everett
Is
and
Sullivan still on the team?
no,
No.
no,
I like. I mean, not as a starter, but I liked him having
He
as a
was
depth
yeah
guy.
backup. Think he went somewhere else too, but we'll see. What Corey Trice Jr., Darius Rush, the two
I
rookies
keep
from
forgetting
last
about
year.
Corey Trice Jr.
Yeah,
If he could live up to the billing of
yeah,
what he could
hmm,
potentially do, I like
yeah,
Corey Trice Jr. a lot.
yeah. I think Anthony Everett might be a little like a sleeper to where he can come in and contribute, or he won't have to be elevated into the number one slot corner. He can just be a rotational piece, a nice guy in depth there. I like the secondary, especially we got some depth there now with Cam Sutton that bumped some people down for limited playing time will help those guys not be as exposed.
See,
So
I felt this. I felt I would rather take Cam Sutton to take him back than have to resort to Patrick Peterson,
yes,
who was once a great player. I'm not
yes,
disputing that one bit.
yeah.
You know what? And by the numbers, I don't know what they are, where he stands overall, but maybe he's a Hall of Fame. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he might be a borderline Hall of Famer. He's
So
damn
just
good.
from what I seen last year, I'm happy that we
Yeah,
got Cam Sutton, and I'm happy that Patrick Peterson is not coming back. Again, I have nothing bad to say.
yeah,
Just where my team is and what they need to win right now, I think that this was the better move.
yeah. I think like if say the season goes on, Pat Pete hasn't signed anywhere, and a safety gets hurt,
All right.
and you want someone to play zone back there, Pat Pete would be a guy because he's not a man corner. We saw that last year coming from Minnesota where he played a lot of zone and coming here where you have to play a lot of man. He doesn't have it anymore for man coverage. But I think for eke out a year, one more year as a zone corner, I think he would be good on a team as a third corner, fourth corner, reserve safety type guy.
Let
But
me
yeah,
ask.
Cam Sutton's so much better.
So we're satisfied with what the secondary did this
Yes.
offseason. And hopefully that's going to be an improvement. Mike, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go through the positions, and you're going to tell me during the off season, did this position group get better, stay the same, or get worse? I'm going to start where everybody starts, Mike, a quarterback.
Yep.
Quarterback room, did they get better, stay the same, or get worse this offseason?
I got better. I mean, Russell Wilson was playing, had some damn good numbers before he got benched the last 2 years. Better than I think all of our starters combined stat wise. So
He
yes,
said he feels like he's
better.
25 again, Mike.
Yeah, yeah. He's like Lemieux, man. Best shape of his career.
You know what I like about this kind of team? Everybody, again, we hear this every year. We're, oh yeah, we're Steelers. Oh, this is gonna be the greatest thing ever. We're gonna be really good. I like that energy. Everybody comes here and they want to win.
Yeah,
You know, Patrick. I'm sorry, Russell Wilson feels 25 again. Cam Sutton's coming. I think these guys all have something to prove.
yeah.
However, when you get a group of guys like this, once you rattle the psyche,
Yeah.
that's when it starts to worry me because then you start seeing the problems that
Mhm.
Russell Wilson might have had in Denver. You start seeing some of the problems here. You start seeing the problems when it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It could certainly fall apart really fast when you have a bunch of these guys who are kind of having these prove it seasons. But on the
Yeah.
other hand, if they could play the emotion and play
Hmm.
that whole card,
Yeah.
they could go a long way.
Yeah.
So it's
It,
just that's what's kind of concerning me about this particular team.
yeah. It's like, how is there, how are they going to react to that adversity? And
Right.
adversity, that can reveal your true character of, are you
Right.
mentally tough enough for it? And you think Russell Wilson should be, he was a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You have to be mentally tough to do that.
Yeah. Running backs, Mike. Did the running back room get better, stay the same, or get worse since the last time the Steelers played?
I got better. I got Najee and Warren, and then you add Cordella Patterson in there. He'll be more of a returner, but he can do stuff out of the backfield as well, and as a receiver as well. So yeah, that running back room got even better.
Wide receiver room, Mike.
Uh,
Did the wide receiver room get better, stay the same, or get worse since the Steelers last played a football game? Think of all the people that they signed. I mean, they brought
yeah,
ample receivers in.
I'm looking at that hodgepodge.
It's a hodgepodge.
Oh yeah, I think it got worse. Not So
Yeah.
what we will about Deontay. He was a very productive NFL receiver. You had a number one and a number two with him and Pickens. Now we have a number one and with a bunch of number threes and
Do you
fours.
think that do you think that uh, another receiver coming in trying to prove himself with a good quarterback like Russell Wilson will play better than Deontay Johnson did playing with the hodgepodge of
Mm.
quarterbacks that he had? See, I think it's going to kind of even
It's
out.
gonna be that's gonna be rough. That's a tough one. That's a tricky one right there because like what's came first, chicken or the egg type thing. I think ideally in a perfect world, I would love to have Russ, George, Deontay, Roman, Wilson. I think that would be a hell of a combo right there.
Yeah.
But man, Deontay, he didn't put up bad numbers with that hodgepodge of quarterback play.
If he didn't, he just does a lot of uncharacteristic,
Yeah,
unorthodox type things that you wish
yeah,
he wouldn't do. And if he
yeah,
wouldn't do them, I think people would be happy with him.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
just he,
Because like you'll see it in some games, like when
yeah.
Deontay's locked in, you see everything that he does well, and he won't do those stupid things. But when
But
he
on the
starts
other
doing those
hand,
stupid,
right,
he
right,
he once he starts doing one thing stupid,
very susceptible to the
other
stupid
things
things.
drop in the game.
Right. Like
So
walking past a live
yeah,
fumble. Like we
yeah,
could keep
yeah,
going,
yeah.
you know.
He's still, to me though, he's still one of the better route runners in the league, and that goes a long way. But yeah, I
How
don't know.
many run
I think the room it's worse, but not like, oh my god, it's
yeah,
so much worse.
not
But it's like
devastating.
oh, we had a one, we had a two, added Wilson, we had a three. So it got worse.
Does the tight end room, like, did it get better, stay the same, or get worse?
Let's stay the same.
The offensive line, better, the same, or worse than we were last year?
Uh, Better, even though we have two rookies in there. I think that line's a whole hell of a lot better.
All right.
I do find it funny though, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN has Isaac Siamalu as the backup to rookie Mason McCormick.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's gonna
It's
happen.
just fucking comical to me.
All right, let's hop over to the defensive side of the ball, Mike. The defensive side of the defensive line. I seen somewhere, and I can't think of what it was. I might have even mentioned to you. It said that Pittsburgh's defensive line is one of the best defensive lines in the league, which I think is an
That's insane.
insane thing to say. Mike, did this defensive line get better, worse, or stay the same through this offseason?
It stayed the same, but you'll see that Keanu Benton's gotten better, but I think you'll see Ogunjobi and Hayward aren't going to be what you would
Yeah.
normally expect out of them. So by default, it's
I wish I could remember who the hell had that up there. They said that the Steelers were
yeah, no,
um
it's gotten worse. There's not a whole lot of
linebackers.
depth.
Linebackers. Better,
Oh,
worse, the same.
mm, I'm gonna go the same.
Oh,
Even though
interesting.
even though we brought in Patrick Queen, we lost some depth. Peyton Wilson. We'll see what he does, but we lost that outside edge depth.
You still got
Yeah,
Herbig. You still got
yeah. Herbig, who's now listed as third string outside linebacker according to ESPN.
Who's second?
Peyton Wilson, even though he's an inside back.
Oh,
Yeah,
I,
I'm just looking at their, but no, we need a better backup
and
for
then
Watt than Jeremiah Moon.
also, I mean, the linebackers, you got backups in that spot, and
If Cole
the
Holcomb comes
inside
back though
linebacker.
too, that
Yeah,
will
the inside
be
linebackers, you have a little bit of depth, and also you're still
yeah.
sitting on the other guy, the guy that hasn't played,
Mark Robinson.
Robinson. So
Yeah.
maybe, just maybe, we'll get to see some, some play that will have impact by him this season. I tend to think that the linebacker room got a little bit better, but we're going to move on to the defensive backs. Do you feel the defensive backs got better, stayed the same, or got worse, the defensive backfield since last season?
Defensive backfield's gotten better.
Yeah, I agree.
Way better. I think Deshaun Elliott big upgrade over Keanu O'Neal. Dante Jackson's an upgrade over Pat Pete. Yeah. Cam Sutton's an upgrade over Pat Pete, upgrade over Shandon Sullivan. Yeah.
And
Upgrade.
finally, Mike, the special teams. Did the special teams improve, get worse, or stay the same?
Oh, they improved big time. You get a better punter. I think you got a better returner with Cordell Patterson. So yeah, it
I think
improved
so
big time.
too. I agree. All right, guys, that is the that's some footballs of right now. I got a couple other football names to give you, Mike,
Later.
because if somebody would happen to go to, and if you're interested to go to North Allegheny High School tomorrow,
No.
just 40 minutes from right here, you could go see the DeMar Hamlin local celebrity basketball game. Mike, there's a few names on here that I think you might be interested in.
What?
We got Brandon Marshall. Do you remember Brandon Marshall?
Yes, wide receiver.
He's going to be there. Josh Norman. He was a
punter.
corner.
Oh, corner. Oh. I was thinking. Never mind.
Was that who I'm thinking? Josh Norman, the
Yeah,
corner.
he was a corner. Yeah, Carolina.
Also, Sharif O'Neal, Shaquille O'Neal's 24-year-old son, is going to be there tomorrow. Aaron Donald will be there tomorrow.
Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Flavor Flav will be there tomorrow. Puff Johnson, the ninth overall pick in the draft a couple years ago in the NBA out of Moon Township, then North Carolina. Mike, and some other people that they haven't named yet. So tomorrow, Saturday, from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. in North Allegheny High School. If you want to go check that out, it'd probably be a lot of fun. Oh, and DeJuan Blair. I know DeJuan Blair is going to be there, the former Pitt star, San Antonio star. So that's going to be a cool thing if you wanted to get out. But there's ample things to do this Saturday evening if that's not your speed. Also, the women football players here in Pittsburgh, they play for a team called the Pittsburgh Passion, and they play a huge game. If you want to take a ride up to Slippery Rock University will host the Pittsburgh Passion Boston Renegades showdown tomorrow at 6 p.m. This game is going to decide the division. Both teams are undefeated. Both teams annihilate everybody. Boston just seems to annihilate teams a little bit more than Pittsburgh does. But you know what? Nonetheless, both teams are undefeated. Going at it, and the winner of this game will more than likely be the champion of that division because they still have one more week after this. But this is the big one right here. The Passion, the Renegades. They wait all year for this. Slippery Rock tomorrow, 6 p.m. Go check that out. Also, if soccer's your thing, you can get down to Highmark Stadium to watch the Pittsburgh Riverhounds host the Charleston Battery. Charleston Battery's coming to Pittsburgh tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. You could always go check that out if soccer's your thing. And let me touch on the NBA and the NHL real quick, Mike, because last night the NBA played their finals game one. Boston wins the game 107-89. Game two is on Sunday at 8 p.m. I'm still taking Dallas in this one. Call me crazy. And then in the NHL, game one for the Oilers and Panthers is Saturday. So that's another thing on Saturday evening, 8 o'clock, game one, Oilers, Panthers. So those two final series are well underway. And then once they get wrapped up, we got a little bit more Pirates, and then it'll be Steeler time. So just hang in there.
I think real quick, NBA Dallas, if they can steal one game two on the road, and I think they can sweep at home, and that's going to be huge right there. I think they might lose that first one, but rattle off three straight.
Mike, why don't you rattle off the information about the website?
The2dumyinzers.com. over there. We got all of our social media links. We got the merch store. We got the blog. One thing you won't read on the blog is Mike's NBA takes because, oh my God, they're probably might be worse than Stephen A. Smith's NBA takes. So, yes, yeah. Don't go over there looking for your NBA news because I just follow from afar.
Go check it out, everybody.
Yeah, check it out.
www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. All right. So I did bring up, Mike, about the finals, basketball, hockey. We're going to go in this direction. You don't have to know so much about the sports themselves or any of the players, Mike, because I know you would struggle with the NBA and as you just said, but today is going to be a NBA NHL finals trivia question. You could be lucky on this. You don't even have to know. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Put your thinking hat on. Here's the question of the day. Between the four teams playing in the NBA and the NHL finals, how many combined titles do the four teams have?
Oh,
So you're looking at the Oilers, the Panthers, the Celtics, and the Mavericks. I need to know for this question between the four teams playing in the NBA and NHL finals, how many combined titles do the four teams have? Go ahead and think that over for a moment. We are live 5 days a week, right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The brand new live show that we do every day, we take and we upload in podcast form over on Spotify. And you can listen to the show at any time in podcast form. We put it up at 8 o'clock p.m. If you're at the gym, in the car, whatever you do, put your earbuds in. You can always listen to the show because it's up every day over there in podcast form at 8 o'clock p.m. Check it out. The day is this. Between the four teams playing in the NBA and NHL finals, which are the Oilers, the Panthers, the Celtics, and the Mavericks, how many combined titles do those four teams have in their respective sport?
Ooh.
All right. Brian's doing the math on the board.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm
Mike's
not
doing the
looking
math
at
in
the
his head.
board. I'm doing the math in my head because the Panthers have 0. I believe Dallas has 0. Boston, I know back in the day, they won, 9 out of 10 championships at one point. Then Bird won, at least 1, maybe 2. I can't remember. Edmonton, I think, has won at least 4. I'm going to go with 16.
16. Is that your final answer?
Final answer. Let's see what.
All right. I'm going to lock Mike in on a final answer with, would you say 16? 16.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. I think he's still figuring it out, so I'll give him another minute on the board. The question of the day is this: between the four teams playing in the NBA, and NHL finals, who are the Oilers, the Panthers, the Celtics, and the Mavericks?
Oh, I forgot about Dallas.
How many combined titles do the four teams have combined?
Sure. I'll go 17 then. I'll go 17.
Mike, you're going to go with 17.
Yeah, I forgot the Mavs 1-1.
All right. Give Brian just another second. Mike says 17. Again, the four teams.
Brian says 17 as well.
Brian says 17 as well. Interesting. I'm going to lock Brian in place. So between the Oilers, Panthers, Celtics, and Mavericks, how many combined titles do the four franchises have together? Mike, he says 17. Brian says 17. And the answer, of course, is 23.
Wow.
23. The Boston Celtics themselves have 17.
Oh,
no, they don't. You know what? That's the Lakers.
Yeah. Okay.
No, Boston has 17. Yeah. Boston has 17, tied for the most in the league with the Lakers. Yeah. So that's 23. 23 total titles. Boston, 17. The Oilers have 5. The Mavericks with the 1 over LeBron, like Brian said on the board. And finally, the Panthers have 0, looking for their first. Yeah. Guys, 23 championships between these four teams that are playing in their respective sports in the finals. 23. So good job, guys.
It wasn't like that Oscar Roberts he won like 9 out of 10 with
Yeah,
the
there was a
Celtics.
period. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. It was
yeah, that's
um
insane. That is
it is insane, man.
insane.
Like you want to say you got anything before we get ready to roll for the weekend?
Yeah, and I think today is the 1 year anniversary of the death of Iron Sheik.
Cheeky baby, no way.
Yeah, I was like just scrolling through Twitter looking for something to wrap up the show with, and JBL was like, yeah, the Iron Sheik always thought my name was John Bradshaw. Or no, Bradshaw. Brad Shaw. He was like, I still miss you, Sheiky. And I was like, no, what, did he die? I thought he already died. And checked, yeah, today is like the year anniversary of the death of Iron Sheik.
I like that cheeky. He was
I
such a
loved Iron
troll.
Sheik,
He
and
was
he
such an
was great
asshole
on.
on Twitter.
Oh, he was so great.
Anything, he would be like, fuck that, if it was
Yeah. I
about
break
your
your back, I humble you.
break your back, you fucking my, or he's always
I
fucking
break your back,
somebody.
I fuck your ass, I
Yeah,
humble you.
right, right.
It's like, Sheiky, are you trying to tell us something, mama?
And he was so oblivious this many years after. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
think that
oh,
if you're a foreign guy, you'd eventually get with it.
yeah,
You
no,
know,
it was great. I loved Iron Sheik, but yeah, a
never
year
ever
ago,
never out of character.
never. I love it.
We do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out and coming to hang with us. As always, we appreciate you very much. We wouldn't do it without you. We want to thank everybody on the board. They always keep things interesting on the show. Um, I will just kind of go through quickly of the things that you can do this weekend. If you are a Pittsburgh sports fan, of course, the Charleston Battery, they're coming to Highmark to play the Riverhounds. That falls 7:30 tomorrow. Also, the the Pittsburgh Passion, they are at Slippery Rock tomorrow, 6 o'clock p.m. against the Boston Renegades in a huge game. Then they finish up next week at Columbus. The DeMar Hamlin local celebrity basketball game at North Allegheny High School, not far from anywhere if you're in the Pittsburgh region. Brandon Marshall, Josh Norman, Sharif O'Neal, that's Shaquille O'Neal's son, Aaron Donald, Flava Flav, Puff Johnson, Dwan Blair, and more tomorrow from 6 o'clock to 9:30 at North Allegheny High School. Also, there is a NBA Finals Game 2 is tomorrow or Sunday. NHL Finals Game 1 is tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And the Pittsburgh Pirates back at it tonight. 6:40 Game 1 of 3 against the Minnesota Twins. Mitch Keller's on the bump. Hopefully the Pirates could get this thing going again. And I think the next series is like the Cardinals, which is going to be good because we need some division games.
Yeah.
As bunched up as this division is right now. But other than that, Mike, anything else? Speak now.
Buckos is going a big run like you had last year. Have it right now at
Yeah.
this key point in the
We
season.
need a big chunk, a big streak. If they could get like a nice 7-game winning streak,
yeah,
we'll be in good shape, I think. You know,
how about win 7 out of 10? I'll take
considering
that.
that everybody else is playing just as we are.
Yeah.
If you're not the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Brewers, or the Braves, everybody else is in the same boat. So if the Pirates can be the team,
they'll win 7 out of 10, but the 3 losses will be against the Cardinals.
Oh yeah. And also, I do believe that the Indiana Fever play tonight or tomorrow, one of these next couple of days, if you're on the Caitlin Clark watch. But if that's everything for you, Mike,
that's all I got, man.
All right, everybody. Again, we want to thank you for hanging out with us. For Mike at the Skillers Mobile Studio, Skillers Central Mobile Studio, myself for the two Dum Yinzers. Everybody have a great, safe weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye bye.